Dare to Lead. Brave Work, Tough Conversations, Whole Hearts by Brené Brown. Introduction. The Heart of Daring Leadership. Brown opens with the premise that true leadership is about recognizing and nurturing the potential in people and ideas. Leadership isn't confined to positions of power but is about taking responsibility for finding the potential in people and processes and having the courage to develop that potential. She emphasizes that courage is teachable, observable, and measurable, laying the foundation for the book's exploration of daring leadership. Part 1. Rumbling with Vulnerability. The Myths of Vulnerability. Brown confronts common myths about vulnerability, challenging the belief that vulnerability is a weakness. Instead, she posits that vulnerability is the core of all emotions and feelings, and to be a daring leader, one must embrace vulnerability. Myths such as, vulnerability is weakness, I can go it alone, and, I don't do vulnerability, are debunked, highlighting that vulnerability is an essential part of human experience and leadership. The Call to Courage. Courage requires vulnerability. Brown identifies 4 skill sets of courage that can be taught, observed, and measured. 1. Rumbling with vulnerability. Engaging in tough conversations and facing difficult emotions. 2. Living into our values. Identifying and living according to core values. 3. Braving trust. Building and sustaining trust through specific behaviors. 4. Learning to rise. Developing resilience to get back up after setbacks. Part 2. Living into our values. The importance of values. Brown stresses the importance of leaders identifying and operationalizing their core values. Living into values means aligning actions with beliefs, which builds trust and fosters a culture of integrity. She provides a practical exercise for identifying top values and offers guidance on how to translate these values into actionable behaviors. Operationalizing values. Once values are identified, leaders must turn these values into specific, measurable behaviors. Brown introduces the concept of values-based behaviors and provides tools for organizations to integrate values into their operations, ensuring that everyone from the top down understands and embodies these values. Part 3. Braving trust. Trust as the foundation. Trust is a non-negotiable component of effective leadership. Brown introduces the BRAVING acronym to describe the 7 elements of trust. 1. Boundaries. Setting and respecting boundaries. 2. Reliability. Doing what you say you'll do consistently. 3. Accountability. Owning your mistakes, apologizing, and making amends. 4. Vault. Keeping confidences and sharing information appropriately. 5. Integrity. Choosing courage over comfort and practicing values over professing them. 6. Non-judgment. Being able to ask for what you need without fear of judgment. 7. Generosity. Extending the most generous interpretation to the intentions, words, and actions of others. Building and sustaining trust. Brown emphasizes that trust is built in small moments and requires ongoing attention. Leaders must model trust-building behaviors and create environments where trust can flourish. She offers practical strategies for repairing trust when it's broken and underscores the importance of consistency in building trust over time. Part 4. Learning to Rise. The Resilience of Leaders. Resilience is critical for leaders who want to foster a culture of courage. Brown explores the concept of rumbling with vulnerability, which involves facing and learning from failures and setbacks. She introduces the rising strong process, which includes reckoning with emotions, rumbling with stories, and creating a revolution in our lives and workplaces. The rising strong process. 1. Reckoning. Recognizing and owning emotions and getting curious about what's happening. 2. Rumbling. Facing the stories we tell ourselves and challenging their accuracy. 3. Revolution. Transforming the way we live, love, transparent, and led based on the learnings from the reckoning and rumbling. Part 5. Creating a Culture of Courage. The Armored Leadership versus Daring Leadership. Brown contrasts armored leadership, which relies on control and defense mechanisms, with daring leadership, which is characterized by openness, empathy, and connection. She identifies specific behaviors that distinguish daring leaders from armored ones, such as choosing courage over comfort, practicing empathy and compassion, embracing vulnerability as a strength, fostering a culture of belonging. A culture of courage is also a culture of belonging. Brown emphasizes that leaders must create environments where people feel seen, heard, and valued. This involves cultivating inclusivity and addressing issues of power and privilege. She offers strategies for building cultures where everyone can bring their whole selves to work. Practical applications and tools. Throughout the book, Brown provides practical tools and exercises for leaders to apply the concepts discussed. These include the arena, a metaphor for the places where we show up and are seen, encouraging leaders to engage fully despite risks. The square squad, a tool for identifying a small group of people whose opinions truly matter. Operationalizing values, exercises for translating values into actionable behaviors. Conclusion. The ongoing journey of daring leadership. Dare to Lead concludes with a call to action for leaders to embrace the ongoing journey of developing courage and vulnerability. Brown encourages leaders to continuously practice the skills of daring leadership and to support others in doing the same. She underscores that daring leadership is not a destination but a lifelong practice that requires commitment, self-reflection, and a willingness to learn and grow. Key takeaways. 1. Courage and vulnerability. True leadership requires vulnerability. Embracing vulnerability fosters trust, innovation, and creativity. 2. Living into values. Identifying and operationalizing core values is essential for building trust and integrity within organizations. 3. Trust. Building and sustaining trust is fundamental to effective leadership. The BRAVING acronym provides a practical framework for understanding and cultivating trust. 4. Resilience. Developing resilience through the Rising Strong process helps leaders navigate setbacks and continue to lead with courage. 5. Culture of Courage. Creating a culture of courage involves fostering inclusivity, addressing power dynamics, and ensuring that everyone feels seen, heard, and valued. In Dare to Lead, Brené Brown provides a roadmap for leaders who want to cultivate courage and vulnerability in themselves and their organizations. By embracing these principles, leaders can create environments where people can thrive, innovate, and contribute their best selves. The book is a powerful reminder that daring leadership is about showing up, being seen, and having the courage to lead with heart.